Okay, some of you might recognize this machine. It is generally considered to be a Victorian quack doctor's gadget for the relief of pain and other ailments. So, I would quite like to get mine working, and then we can maybe have a video where we get all practical with it and obtain for ourselves a guinea pig. I originally obtained this one without the band, the drive band, which is just a bit of leather now. And there were other issues. I think this was missing components, this part. And the gentleman that created the theme tune for Random Scottish History, Tony Wilson, took it away, wicked it off for a wee while, and I received it back with all the working parts where we can actually, get into it and have a wee play around with it and see if we can get it working. Now, what we discovered, Aki's and I, was that this magnet has no charge, which is useless for a Magneto-Electric machine. I went on forums, I searched online for clues, and the main suggestion seemed to be taking a strong magnet and with the positive side slowly work it up and down the one side of the horseshoe before then using the negative charge on the other alternate side of the horseshoe. Just do the same, just sweep it up and down for a few minutes and it should remagnetize the thing. My problem is that getting this out is a whole thing. I mean, there are screws within the depths of this machine that I have no idea how they got there, because I don't have a screwdriver that works like that and can angle itself to be able to undo them. There will be a way. We can work up a way of doing that, but I'd really like to avoid it. The handle is removable. There's this knob, which we'll talk about in a minute, which also removes. But when you remove this, this piece of metal, it's really just like literally an ingot of metal, a flat piece of metal, is attached to a long thread to which this secures. When you move this, it all comes away. See, trying to get that back in again, and I wasn't even able to remove it very far at all. And even just in the little bit I was able to move it, it was a job trying to get the thread to line up and come back out and secure again. So I'm not wanting to have to remove the magnet, but it may be that I will need to from some of the hints that I've had, specifically on Mastodon, where there's quite a lot of techie people. So they've been very helpful, and the same couple of suggestions, forefront suggestions, seem to recur. That has only been within the last hour. I really was looking to fix what I've been able to do something with, to actually get it to work better, because not wanting to remove the magnet left me with very few options. I went and obtained a set of 12 neodymium magnets, and that's these. And a lot of you will recognise them. Aki's was saying you'd use them to put stuff up in your fridge, and these are quite strong wee things. And I thought, well, because they don't have like an obvious, just one of them doesn't have an obvious like holes. It's obviously the alternate sides of it. Some of the response I was getting was saying, you want to make sure that the chargers aren't mingled, and it'd be difficult with these, but the suggestion was to stack them. But again, we're taking out the horseshoe battery to do that. My initial workaround prior to asking the community for help was really just to stick the magnets everywhere on the magnets, the magnet that I could. Now, because down here, I'll take these out to show you. We'll get into these things in a minute. Getting in here is very difficult, and I was using a screwdriver in the hole of the magnets to really try and like force them across and get them into position where I couldn't really reach myself. So I've only been able to get 4 down here on the kind of hidden side of the magnet, and really I would want them towards the end of the magnet rather than I want them at the flat cut off ends of the horseshoe, and I can't reach in there. If I were to get them much closer, they would impede the motion of this. Again, it would involve taking the thing out and doing it. And we've got 2 on this end. I cannot get to the flat end of the bottom to put another magnet in, because of the thread. So I'll read this to you just to give those of you who have really never seen such a thing and feel like my description hasn't really aided them in working out what it is. We have newly invented, improved Magneto-Electric machine for nervous diseases. Directions. Connect 2 metallic cords or wires with the sockets in the ends of the box. And that's these. We'll just fully unwrap these because we're going to want them a little bit separate from each other for a later example, I guess. Let's get these plugged in. So these are magnetic wires just wrapped in a cloth, like your phone chargers. We've got the metal of the wire wrapped around these plugs, and at the end of these, again, you've just got the metal wire within this cloth covering connected to your grippy bits. Okay. It says, then turn the crank, which is this. Now, the handle is designed to go clockwise, not just because of its shape, but also because if you do it anti-clockwise, it comes off its thread, and it's a whole thing trying to line it up to get it back in. So we want to avoid that. So turn the crank, regulating the strength of the current by the speed and by the knob at the end of the box, which is this piece that I had unscrewed, attached to the piece of metal, the flat piece of metal that comes against the magnet. It says, it being desirable to increase the strength only to that degree most agreeable to the patient. You don't want to actually electrocute them in any way, I guess. It is less unpleasant to the patient if wet sponges are placed in the ends of the handles and these applied to the skin, as they prevent the prickling sensation. The sponge should never, and never is in capital letters, be put inside the box whilst wet as they rust the machinery, which is common sense. In applying it for the toothache, tic doloro, or neuralgia, the operator takes one handle and places fingers or sponge over the part affected while the patient holds the other handle. So that makes like a two-person circuit along with the machine. In applying it to the foot, place one of the handles in the water with the foot and hold the other in the hand, or apply it to any other part of the person. The bearings and springs must be oiled occasionally. I'll admit I have never oiled it. I haven't really had it a super long time. Now, from that description, I think there are people that are going to be like, wait a minute, you're generating electricity. There's no gauge or settings to actually know what kind of voltage the output is. And it's suggesting that you use water with it. Some people may be thinking, well, that sounds pretty dangerous, and it does sound pretty dangerous. There are reasons that I don't think it would be actually dangerous, though. I mean, of course, if someone's a cardiac patient as well, then really a slight shock could kind of put them in difficulties. But when someone these days, so if a power line is snapped for whatever reason, maybe an accident and something's caught it and it's fallen down into a puddle, think Final Destination kind of idea, and someone comes into contact with that water while the electricity is going in it, it's very hard to extricate that person and render aid, because touching them is going to connect you to the circuit, the current, and put you in as much danger. But with this, the power is being manually created. So if the patient were seeming to be in any difficulty at all, let go of the handle, take out the pins, and there's no further electricity coming through to the patient. Another reason why I think that it wouldn't be dangerous is because it sounds very much from that description like a modern TENS machine to a certain extent. So a TENS machine, you can fully direct how powerful it is and the strength of the output in a way that alleviates your discomfort rather than, puts you into difficulties of any kind and hurts you. It produces a current to make your muscles spasm, and a lot of people can find that it helps with sciatica. I have one from a friend, and I use that when the sciatica is on the go, and I find that it helps when my neck and shoulders, because my day job is sitting office work and random Scottish history outside of the out and about videos where we get to visit places is very much sitting down and editing and typing and reviewing and responding. It's all very, everyone knows if you've got bad posture, and my posture is nothing to write home about. So I find that it helps on the neck and shoulders and things. And it seems like that's exactly the use to which this was put. It was also obviously to put to things where you would not really consider a TENS machine for, like toothache. Yeah, they just were like, oh, you've got an ailment, and it didn't matter what the ailment was. They were like, oh, let's see if this works. Let's have a go, Electricity and producing it became a hobby very quickly after its introduction. And you had people creating some of the most intricate and most well thought out little gadgets to do various things. And obviously there was money to be made if you owned one of these, and you made house calls to people that were ill in any way. And perhaps some people did find relief in the way that TENS machines can give relief. Perhaps for some it was just the idea of something being done, that placebo effect. that would kind of alleviate whatever they were going through for a couple of days. I don't doubt that people were helped by gadgets such as this. Whether it was for very long or to any great extent, I don't know that you could really record the true extent of, because I feel like it would be fairly minimal just from the fact it is manual. But we'll have a wee go. We're all plugged in. We have our grippy things. Now, at the moment, and with the setup with these batteries as I have them, it doesn't give out nearly enough voltage to give so much as a tickle. I will show you. Now, I last did anything to do with circuitry and what have you outside of changing light switches and things in the house. The last time would have been about 25 years ago, creating circuits in schools as an educational tool. So I have zero experience in this whatsoever. This thing is a multimeter, and it is going to tell us if there is a charge from our wee hand grippy bits. Now, we want the hand grippy bits. We'll have them quite separate. We don't want, I don't know, just we'll keep them separate, because if you were holding them, they would be, a good distance away. You would have them, so we've got them away from each other. I do not know what these symbols mean. I have no idea, but numbers change on most of them when you do a thing. So I'm going to show you this purely just because there are likely going to be people watching this that are like, I know what those symbols mean, and those are whatever numbers as a result. It's not going to be anything extraordinary. Again, it's just these neodymium magnets. We have 8 on this top one, 6 along, 2 on the flats end, and 4 on the bottom side. So they are on alternate sides of the magnets, just in case that would make any kind of a difference. So we'll get it going. I'm going to put this lid down because doing this manually means the box moves a wee bit. Let's put this wire around here just to keep this in place a wee bit better. We'll go to our first reading. Now I'm hoping you can see this on the camera. Now we're going to go in the clockwise direction, okay, because the handle is made to go clockwise. So the highest reading I saw there was 6.8, and that is like a line with 3 dots under it, a V. I don't know what that means. I assume V is voltage. We'll go to the next setting. We're already getting a kind of 0.5 reading without doing anything on this setting. It's a kind of wavy line with a V again, but 0.5 before we start going. The numbers are decreasing as I go. 0391, 0388, 0379. That's interesting. So that number's higher before I even start going. Okay. I don't know what that means. Someone might though. So I'm going to take that as like a calculator's version of error. Yeah, I don't think anything with letters I'm going to ignore because I don't understand that. At least with numbers you can see them changing. 0.05 does not change. This one, which I guess must be hertz, hertz percentage. I was getting higher numbers, I think, doing it with hertz when I was trying it earlier. Oh, so we got 984 and then it went to 1 point something, which I guess is going to be higher than the 934. So that's like the most change we've seen. But again, I don't know what that means. Now, the ones with A for amps, I guess, I think the U with the long tail, I think is microamps. I don't know what that means. I don't think this registers amps. I'm pretty sure it only registers voltage. This wee machine. Yeah, we've got nothing, no change there. M and an A, so maybe microamps. No, we had microamps, milliamps. Yeah, no change there. And just an A. Like nothing. Okay, so we're going to put it back to the line with 3 dots and the V. We're going to do it anti-clockwise. And I'll have to tighten it at the end of each turn because honestly, getting it back on is avoidable. So we're going to we'll do it anti-clockwise and we'll see what kind of numbers we get. So it was hovering mostly about like the kind of 5 point, but it did get up to like 8 point something. Was the highest I saw. And we've got the wavy line in the volts. Oh, what did I say I needed to do? Tighten up every time. I want to give myself a job. Okay, so the highest I saw that get to 0.295, I think. Then, what even is that symbol? It's like omega with, I don't know, like an overhead of Superman flying with his eyes in his hands in a T shape, but shouting sound waves. Because that's literally what that symbol looks like to me. I feel like I'm going to have to actually show you this because so you see it's like an overhead Superman, like I don't know what that is, with Omega under it. So yeah, all very, I don't know, Marvel or something. We're already getting readings from it. It's been constantly fluctuating, like kind of 4.5, 4.4, 4.3. Yeah, there's a 4.6. Let's see what it does when we do this. 4.9. So I saw 58.58, I think. So you can see that these numbers are quite different from what we were getting the other way, where it's obviously giving out more of a current anti-clockwise, which is not what we want. It suggests to me that the way I have the magnet set up should probably be reversed, but to do that I would have to get the magnet out, and if I could get the magnet out then I would just literally do the stacked idea where you have 2 stacks of 6 of these neodymium batteries, the flat end on one side, the slightly rounded side like downwards on the other, and just leave it, and that would, but if I have to take it apart you can be sure it will be filmed because I mean you might as well see me struggling to take this thing apart and to get the magnet out. So we'll do the last one, the hertz, which again is the one that I seem to get the most fluctuation of readings. It seems to be more sensitive to whatever it's giving out. So it's 841.5, but it also went to 1 point something, which I think is a step higher, still giving out the odd current. So it would be nice to get it actually working in a way that someone holding it could actually feel that it's working, rather than relying on a multimeter to know that there's some current being generated by the action of the crank. I feel like at this point I am going to have to take it apart. I'm not seeing much of a way forward beyond that, because this has no magnetic charge of its own. I mean, it will have some, since these magnets have been on it for a day, and they'll stay on it until I actually take the thing out. Although that might muck up the charge, won't it, when it comes to cycling? I don't know. I'll look into that, because I may have to let all of the charge go out of the horseshoe again before I then try the stacking option from fresh, so that it's definitely a positive and negative charge on either side. I will update you though. Thank you to everyone that has helped with suggestions on what to do, especially those on Mastodon, because that was suddenly quite a few useful pieces of information coming out from folk, and I appreciate people taking the time. Discord too, Sharpus and Simon were wanting to take a wee look to see if maybe they could help. Yeah, you'll know how it's going, because the next video will either be it working in a way that a guinea pig will be able to experience, or it'll be me taking the thing apart to remagnetize the battery better. I shall see you. Take it easy.